Okay, audio check. Yep. Okay, I think it should be up and running now. So, yes, indeed, in case there's any issues with audio or something, please do let me know, people. But good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you may be in the world. Welcome back to Aero League Racing. This is the GR3 Championship Season 19, Round 2 of the Tier 3 Wide Championship around Alsace. Alsace, how do I go about it? My I don't think I have the. I don't think I know how to say that term specifically, but it's the French circuit. It's a very picturesque setting, and I believe this is where the very first race takes place in the game, in the music rally. So, welcome one, welcome all. We have a 16 driver lobby with us, and let us. Well, JMS, I don't think we ever want to, but welcome to the stream. Work is always boring. It's ALR that should always take priority. Absolutely. Cow themes, JMS. You are quite the livery creator, if I'm not wrong. So I will definitely be looking out for that. So I think without any further ado, let's go through the grid before we start the 9-lap sprint race, which will be followed by, let me get this right, 22 or 23 laps feature. I did this yesterday, I should remember it, but it's a 22 laps, 22 laps. Let's get going nonetheless. So we have Fancy Locks on pole position in the BMW, followed by, oh please forgive me, the Audi driver, the Dutch Audi driver, Dijkstra. Please forgive me if I butcher up some pronunciations here. Not used to a lot of the European, Dutch, Polish names and so on. So please forgive me if I do mess up those. Turbo Boy in P3 in the Peugeot, Deco in P4 in the Alfa Romeo. Then we have the McLaren of I can't see the name right now. The Arix, there you go, Arix Roblox in P5, Cherry in P6 in the other BMW. So they're pretty close together on track. Goose 87 in the other McLaren in P7, Kling Kachao in P8, and that is a pretty nice livery as well. Let me have a look. And this is Cherigin in the, well, I should just say A in the Lamborghini. It's been called Hill Climb. I won't be doing that, don't worry. I'll just be calling you the Audi driver, I think, to not make any pronunciation mistakes here. And we have LT Rocker 05 in P10. In the, let me get this right, the WRX, all right. I think this is the first time I'm seeing this in so many seasons of doing comms. Interesting car choice. Nat, how do you say it? Nat is a very Indian way of saying it, but in the Peugeot in P11, V-Cube in P12, JMS in 13th, and that is a very nice livery. And right behind you, Zelda as well, following suit. Wow, that is a fantastic one. And not with the old livery. Oh, that's a pretty nice, neat livery, I must say. Looks quite good. We have then Rocket in 15th in the Honda, I should say the NSX, and the last car is Sapper, who has been grateful enough to upload the replay. So thank you to Sapper for uploading the replay. That's an interesting livery as well. So there you go. That's the grid sorted. I should move my PlayStation chat box to a different location because it always conflicts with me being able to see the names of people. Sometimes I don't remember it very well. But let's go. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights ahead of the driver, and when the lights go out, we go racing in France. A good start for Fancy Locks. Turbo Boy's got a fantastic start already, up into P2 and looking to challenge Fancy Locks into turn 1. Brakes late, tries to make a move on the outside. I don't think it's going to stick, and I think he's going to be cut off there by the Audi. Oh, there's been contact, there's been chaos, but somehow they still are facing the right in the right direction. Wow, that was way too close between these two. But the field is very, very closely bunched up here as we go into this downhill braking zone. It's a very tricky braking zone. I remember in my sprint race as well, it was very chaotic. There's a fair bit of contact here as well. And once again, the Audi driver onto the grass, and that's a big spin for H. Did I just say H? What happened there? I thought there was ample space. Was there not? Was there? Oh, just taking the wrong part of the track there. I made that mistake in a few of my practice sessions as well. Unfortunate for the Dutch driver, down in 16th now, tail end of the field, but well, there's 9 laps to go and that's ahead of him. So let's see what he can do. Into this right-hander we go. This is a tricky braking zone. Let's see what the drivers can do about it. So that's Zelda moving up a few places. Turbo Boy and A are battling it out. Up front, this is getting feisty though. You can see a Kling is in P6, battling with Cherry and LT Rockers. The Cherry's moved up one position. Sorry. There is this long right-hander for the first time we go. This will prove to be a pretty tricky corner. And I can see 2 cars going very close, side by side. I think that was Nath and GMS, is it? I think it is. Into this right-hander, this is a very easy corner to go wide at, and I think VCube has done exactly that. VCube's gone a little bit too wide there and has lost the position to JMS, who goes onto the grass there and is going to invite VCube into making another move here. Let's see if the Jaguar driver decides to do that. Ahead of them is Goose and JMS battling it out. And did I see a streak of rain there, or was that just my seeing things? Probably no rain incoming, although the sky does look pretty gloomy right now. We start lap 2. It has been an ideal start for Fancy Locks. Look at the lead he's already got, taking up a little bit of grass there. I think Fancy Locks seems to be in control, the Brazilian in the BMW. Deco in P2 had a pretty good start, but I think just sorry, that was Turbo Boy. Let's have a look further back. We are seeing here Cherry following LT Rocker and Arix. So Arix had a pretty decent start as well. Still settling into P3 as we approach this zone. This is a pretty tricky corner, especially on one tires. You're going to see a fair few people run a little bit wide here. And let's see, LT in the Subaru should be looking to size up a move on the McLaren anytime soon, possibly. Into this braking zone we go. Move down the inside, possibly on the cards for LT Rocker. There's some contact there between Arix roadblocks, and I think LT's got past, but into this long right-hander, this is a very, very tricky corner. It's so easy to make a mistake here, just getting a fair bit of understeer, but I think LT Rockers navigated it well and stays in P3. Further back, I saw somebody going onto the grass. Whoa, JMS play. Oh, and he's collected somebody on his way back. Oh, what's happened here? So, battling with Kling, Kachao, JMS, and VCube's also involved there, so let's have a look. So, this long right-hander. Is there going to be a mistake, or is JMS... Oh, I think he's just taking a little bit too much speed there, and Nath in the Porsche just got... was in the wrong place at the wrong time there. And oh, Zelda's hit Nath. Wow, that has not gone very well for any of them. Sapper moves up into 14th place ahead of Zelda, and all these guys will definitely have damage. Look at JMS's front right corner. It's pretty much in shambles right now. That's going to cause a lot of issues for him. And there you go, once again onto the grass. Zelda in 15th, and oh, this is the Audi driver having a bit of a moment there, taking a little trip through the grass. But up front, Fancy Locks is well and truly in control of this sprint race, and one would assume that this momentum may follow into the feature race as well. Deco in the Alpha is quite well, he's keeping Fancy Locks honest right now. Fancy Locks is still having to work for it in order to keep the Alfa Romeo behind. It's a pretty tricky corner, GMS. I don't blame you. I was suffering there as well during my race yesterday. Well, I have no prior experience of this track, so it was even more challenging for me. Let's see how you fare on. So there is a bit of a gap here between Nath and Rocket. So there you see Nath in the background. So there's a bit of a field spread already. Let's have a look. This is where it's going to get feisty. It's the battle between Goose and Cherry for P5. Arix seems to have settled into P4, just trying to build up some momentum in order to catch up to LT Rocker and get past. let's have a look up front. Every now and then we'll keep having a look at the battle for the lead, Fancy versus Deco, and through this long right hand we go. I think Fancy's got a good run through here, coming into this tricky braking zone, still sitting purple sectors. What about Deco? We haven't given Deco a whole lot of airtime right now. This is a pretty handy car in race trim, and Fancy's taking a little bit too much grass here. If he's not a little cautious there, maybe that could be a bit of a problem for him, because I don't think we should be taking that much grass on entry, corner entry. But let's see. If he's in the lead, he definitely knows what he's doing, much like Kimi Raikkonen did in Abu Dhabi all those years ago. And at the end of lap 3, start of lap 4, Fancy Lock still leads. It's a pretty... well, he's been in command of this race since the get-go. Deco's still there in the mix. LT Rockers coming under pressure from Arix now. Who's still following Arix, coming under pressure from Kling. Oh, I think somebody's had a moment there. Have I missed something? I'm just mixing up names, I think, here right now. I think I'm mixing up names here. V-Cube he has 3 cars, 4 cars behind him, just eager to make moves, and one of them looks to be Turbo Boy, who seems to be wanting to get past Cherry at the earliest available point of asking. V-Cube's gone wide. A in the Lamborghini is going to get past. There's a little bit of contact there, but I think they will hold position, or will A go for the switchback here on V-Cube? There's some more contact there between the Italian and the Spaniard. As you go to this right-hander braking zone, you would assume V-Cube would have the upper hand, given that he has the inside line. There's contact, there's elbows out racing. A is onto the grass there, and they hold position. Wow, that's a lot of argy-bargy, and they just hold position. Yeah, it is, so I was right. Cherry has had a moment. Let's have a look what's happened. He was in a pretty good position here. I think I missed that. Oh, where's this? Oh, it is at the tricky braking zone. Well, I completely missed that. I was wondering who is missing from that little battle there. Well, Cherry has had a rather unfortunate end to the previous lap, having a spin there. Yeah, I don't think that was necessarily the best way to go racing there, between A and V-Cube. But yeah, Cherry now down to P9. Won't be very happy with the spin there. Turbo Boy getting involved in the mix, so let's just go back to that point. There you can see in the distance. So A and V-Cube, we will fast forward a little bit more to where we left off. Yes. So here you go. Cherry has had a moment. Now down to P9. Was running in P5, so battling it out with the likes of Goose and Arix to now have a little bit more breathing room. V-Cube and A were involved in a pretty elbows out battle. One would assume it would continue into this section of the track. Once we exit the long right-hander, we have a very, very tricky braking zone, and there's not a whole lot of room that these two are giving to one another. A and V-Cube, oh, they are, well, what do I say, it's side car, because usually in F1 you say wheel banging, that's well known between these two, the Jag and the Huracan. M6 of Cherry is getting interested, I think possibly likely to make a move into the final chicane, final few corners. Let's have a look into the braking zone, how he fares. Behind him, Turbo Boy is just, I think, having to bide his time. No point making a move there. Whoa, Globbers the barriers there. I think he's lucky to get away without any damage. But that will open up the door for Rocket to make the move, and Rocket goes up into P10 but has gone very deep into that corner. Will Turbo Boy be able to do a bit of a switchback here and retake P10? Because this is a crucial position. If you finish in P10, obviously you get pole position for the feature race. So this is where the drivers want to finish if you're not having a particularly pleasant race. Cherry and V-Cube still battling it out. Turbo Boy retakes P10, Rocket down to P11. Nath has slowly but steadily made up some ground and is now, well, he needs to make up 2 positions in order to have the best possible chance at securing a win here tonight. And that is Cherry looking to make a move on V-Cubes, trying to find his way past the Jaguar. You can see Turbo Boy's, you can hear, sorry, I should say, Turbo Boy's tires squealing in the background. Cherry drops to P10, Turbo Boy up to P9, Rocket still in 11th. I think they are all just They're not having a very pleasant race, any of them, I think. Just wanting to a bit of damage limitation here. The sprint has not gone particularly nicely for some of these guys. LT Rocker and Arix battling it out. Arix is very, very close to the rear of the WRX, and I think going into this final chicane, we may see a move incoming from Arix, who's got a decent run out of that corner. No, I think he's a little too far back to make a move here. If he were to make the move here, it would be pretty chaotic, I think. But look at the state of LT Rocker's front left compared to Arix's. So some cars, unfortunately the one I was driving as well, the Beetle, was also pretty harsh on its front left. So I think LT will have to do a little bit of tire conservation before the end of the race, because it's very possible that by the end of lap 9 he may have no tires. Goose in the other McLaren in P5. So the McLaren's running well, P4 and P5. Kling has been on the tail end of Goose's McLaren since for quite a few laps now. A is now in a bit of no man's land, trying to chase after Kling Kachau. V-Cube, Turbo, Cherry and Rocket and Nath, I should say. They're all battling it out. 5 cars battling it out. Oh, who's that? That's Rocket taking a bit of a trip through the gravel there, playing a little bit of farming simulator temporarily, dropping down to P12. Nath moves up into P11. So this may not still be over for Nath. He could still go on to into P10 and have pole for the feature. Since this is the tail end of the sprint, you would expect drivers to start thinking about the feature as well, their best possible opportunity for the feature. Is it the Subaru WRC? Oh no, WRC as well. Never mind. It is the WRX. I messed up the name. Indeed, a little off-road action from Rocket in the NSX. Nath in P11. Let's see if Nath can get past Cherry anytime soon. Cherry's not enjoyed this corner a few laps ago. This time around, it's smooth sailing for the number 50 BMW driver. Is this the M6 Endurance or the Sprint? I'm not sure which one it is. I should have a look at that. Let's have a look up front if you're going to see a move here. Indeed, we are seeing some battling between Arix and LT Rocker. They give each other enough room and enough respect. And as we start lap 7, we have 3 laps to go, including this one. Arix is on the back of LT Rocker. He's getting ever closer. Just look at the state of his, the Subaru driver's front left. There is no grip that the tire will be offering in a few laps time. So it is really critical moments for LT Rocker's race here. He needs to be very cautious about how he approaches the next few laps. He doesn't want to get a puncture because that would send him all the way, well, tumbling down the order. Arix is, I think, just biding his time. He can see that LT is struggling. Kling has got past Goose. No, not that button, sorry. Yeah. And Kling Kachau sends it on the inside. There is, well, maybe it's just the natural lag that occurs, but that seemed to be a relatively controlled move by Kling to move up into P5. Goose now down to P6. A is in P7. You can see the two ahead of him battling it out. I think he will just want to hold off on making any rash moves right now. Further back, let's have a look. Turbo Boy in the back of V-Cube. Cherry still in P10. Nath is gone a bit wide there, and that's a trip through the grass for the Peugeot driver. And what's going on here between Cherry and V-Cube? Yeah, Turbo Boy up, and V-Cube and Cherry once again battling it out. Oh, there's elbows out racing. The Jaguar driver was, I think, slightly forced onto the grass there, I should say. Nath can see all this unfolding ahead of him. One more position gained will be very crucial for him, and I think he knows that, definitely. And he's going to want to make the most of it into this braking zone. Let's see, V-Cube runs a bit wide here, and that opens up the door for Nath to make the move. He has gone wide, but I don't think it's by enough. They will still hold position. And I will have a look for a moment, because indeed we have seen a change in position. Top 3, position 3 changes hands. Now it's Arix Roblox up into P3, LT Rocker down to now down to P4, and the state of his front left tire is, well, quite disastrous right now. I don't think he's gonna have... Oh, he's going for a dive here. He's going aggressive. Elbows out action. LT Rocker does not want to yield. Even if his tires won't have it. Oh, that was way too close to the wall, but we have side-by-side action as we start lap 8. It's the battle for P3. Can you believe it? LT Rocker, Kling Kachow, Alex Roblox, whoa, and Kling Kachow moves up into P3. And they're still side-by-side, and the two behind them are also side-by-side. Whoa. I would not have expected this. I would have expected Alex to just easily breeze past, but it's now Kling Kachow who looks best suited to get past LT Rocker. Look at the state of his front left. Who's that? That's A looking to get involved in this little battle here. Alex is, I think, just getting a bit frustrated there with how he lost out in that move. He will not be very happy with LT Rocker's dive into the final few chicanes. Indeed, brake balance towards the rear. Very, very helpful here. I didn't realize how helpful it would be in my race as well. Alex can see his teammate Goose behind him, but he is currently focused on the drivers ahead of him because this is a very, very close battle. Kling and LT Rocker. Are we going to see Kling Kachow make a move on this long right-hander? This is the penultimate lap of the sprint race. This is the crucial part of the race. You need to make your moves in time, and we can see here A is getting interested. A in the Lamborghini. Left-hander preceding the braking zone. This is gonna be a tricky braking zone for all those involved. LT Rocker is gonna run wide. No, he is not. Kling Kachow is just trying to find a way past. He's just not able to do that right now. LT Rocker is not giving him any opportunity or any window of opportunity to get past. A in the Lamborghini. It's very frustrating, I think, for him as well. Alex will be very frustrated, trying something different, trying more on the outside. This is very chaotic. I should just have a look from Alex's perspective. So the three ahead are battling it out. Alex will try to go around the outside of A, and Kling will clip the barriers. Kling Kachow. That will allow Alex to move up into P5. A and LT Rocker, I think, made a little bit of marginal contact there. That's 3 wide, 4 wide. Wow, 4 wide, can you believe it? LT Rocker, who was in a pretty comfortable position a few laps ago, is now battling it out for P8. And this is getting very feisty. Turbo Boy out of nowhere almost has come up into P5. A and Alex are going to battle it out on this final lap. This is getting so feisty. I think this is what I think Epsilon Delta mentioned, that he's very interested to see me comment it out in the sprint. A has taken P3, Alex in P4, Turbo Boy trying to go for a move around the outside. Does he have the tires? Does he have the grip to do so? I think he does, but Alex will not give this up without a fight here. Kling Kachow, who was battling for P3 at one point, is now down in P6. Cherry, despite that earlier spin, has now found his way up into P7. LT Rocker has no tires, battling it out for P9 now because Roos has got ahead of him. And Nath is where he would ideally like to be in this situation. He is in P10, but this is the battle that we are really going to be focusing on. I think A in the Lamborghini has it sorted. It's the battle for the, I think, 5th and 6th position that we really have to look out for. Don't discount anyone at this point here. All these guys still have decent tires. It's only LT Rocker who's run out of tires. Yeah, Nath has moved up to P9, LT Rocker, but he's still battling it out with that LT Rocker. Alex, oh, I can hear a lot of clobbering of the wall there. A has navigated it well. I think he's just cleared this little battle here. This is very crucial for his race because he is going to very comfortably, I think, take the checkered flag. These guys who are going to have a lot of trouble. But up front, we've not given him any airtime for a while. Fancy Locks wins. Well done, Fancy Locks. Well done, Deco. And let's continue our pursuit of this little battle here. Kling, Cherry, Goose. Is anyone going to trade positions before the end of the lap? No, I think they're all going to finish as they exited the tricky braking zone. A finishes in 3rd, Turbo Boy in 4th, Alex in 5th, Kling in 6th, Cherry in 7th, Goose in P8, Nath in P9, and LT Rocker finishes P10. So LT Rocker will take pole, but that was a very, very chaotic final lap there. I must applaud all these guys in the background here, all the way from P3 down to P10 for providing us with such incredible action. BQ 11th, Rocket 12th, JMS in 13th, Sapper in 14th, the Audi driver in 15th. It's been a pretty disastrous race for him, starting in P2, finishing in 15th, and Zelda with a race to forget, and yeah, there you go. The Subaru, I don't think, is very kind on its tires. And there you go. That is the end of the sprint race. Now we move on to the feature. And I think, yeah, there you go. Thank you to, I think, yeah, it is the Audi driver. Let me very quickly start the replay. There you go. Thank you to Dijkstra, based on the little bit of Dutch names that I've heard over my time. Thank you to Dijkstra for uploading the replay. And we will have a look at the. In just a moment, I'll be back. I think we should be live again. Sorry for that. I had to just take a moment. Just verify that. Yep, we are live. So, having finished 10th after a pretty dismal final lap to the race, LT Rocker starts in P1 for the feature. In the medium, so I'm very keen to see what strategy these guys go for. I think the multiple stops was the correct call, although it's really dependent on your car how many stops you needed to make. I've heard, I think, some people making 4 pit stops in this race. I would have gone for 3. Two, sorry, I should say. 2 pit stops. But let's see. I would expect most to be on the mediums. Maybe somebody's taking a gamble and going on the softs early. Let's find out. LT Rocker starts in P1 on the mediums, Nath in P2 on the mediums as well. What about Goose? Goose is on the mediums. So is Cherry. What about Kling? Also on the mediums. Same goes for Arix. A in the Lamborghini is on the hards. Turbo Boy is on the mediums. Deco is on the mediums, and Fancy has also opted for the medium tires. So has V-Cube. So has Rocket. So has GMS. So has Sapper. So has the Audi driver. And Zelda, come on, break the trend. Oh, Zelda has broken the trend. He is on the hards. So only 2 drivers on the hards. Zelda and A in the Lamborghini. I should really ask these guys how I should be pronouncing their names. But nonetheless, that is the tire situation. 22 laps of Alsace ahead of us. Let's go. LT Rocker leading the way. Some of these guys I think will be given control in the middle of the chicane. They need to be very careful. I think the likes of Sapper and GMS probably. And there you go. We go green flag racing. Goose I think will immediately look to set after Nath, but I think it's Cherry who's trying to make the move on Kling Kachao. I think he has been able to succeed in doing so. Cherry moves forward. Now he has Kling Kachao right behind him. 22 laps around Alsace. This was going to be very interesting. If the sprint is anything to go by. We're going to this downhill braking zone. Cherry and Kling are very, very close. Is Arix going to get interested in making a move here? He's a little too far back right now, but I see Goose and Nath battling it out. Goose, I think, or rather I should say Nath is not particularly comfortable with his tires right now, and LT Rocker is in a, I think he's built up about a 7 or 8 10th lead already to Nath. Cherry getting a little bit out of shape there out of the corner. That's going to open up the door for Kling Kachao in the Jaguar to try and get past. Goose and Nath battling it out. And this is very close between these two going into this long right-hander. What are they going to do here? So this is going to be interesting. Nath has the inside line. I think Goose has just settled in behind the Peugeot driver for the moment here. They're still battling it out. And they're still side by side as we go towards the braking zone. LT Rocker. All this is going to allow LT Rocker to just pull away a little bit here. And we're going to this right hand. And Nath has gone a little bit wider there, but that's not going to be an issue for him because he still has the inside line, and I think he'll hold on to P2 at least till the end of this lap. Unless Goose goes for a dive here. They are still very, very close, P2 and P3. And let's have a look into the chicane. Are we going to see any Unique lines here by the McLaren driver, but the Peugeot, in order to defend or to attack, I think they are just going to hold position for now. I can hear some barrier clanging in the background there. Nath exits the last corner, but he's left the door open. That's going to, I think, allow Goose to make a move into turn 1. McLaren versus Peugeot, and McLaren moves up into P2. Peugeot of Nath falls to P3, and he's onto the grass, and that is not the way you want to have your second lap of 22 start. Nath falls to P4. Cherry's got past, and I think Kling Kachau will follow suit. And there you go, Kling Kachau up into P4. A little bit of wheel banging there between these two. Cherry and Goose battling it out, is it? I think Goose has a bit of a gap here. Cherry is coming under pressure from the likes of Nath and Kling, who are themselves battling it out. Well, yeah, I think there is a rally car, right, for this very specification of cars. So I think Nath is just forgetting which championship he's participating in for a moment. But he is still in P4, still in a good position. Nath can now see Cherry and Goose battling it out ahead of him into this left-handed braking zone. Well, it's getting interesting in the midfield, as I was going to say that. Nath and Kling both go off track onto the grass, only for a moment though. Goose and Cherry. Now Cherry ahead. Are we going to see Goose attempt move to get back up into P2? Well, look at LT Rocker just disappearing into the distance there. I think, yeah, whoever starts in the lead has quite an advantage there. I think that's an Alfa Romeo who's had a bit of a spin there. Who is that? Is that Deco? Let's have a look here. He can see all these guys ahead of him just battling it out, and I think Deco's just gone a little bit too hot into that corner. Yeah, no contact with any other driver, but that's a spin that he will not be very much looking forward to, and I don't think being featured on the replay stream will be very pleasing to him either. And he's now battling it out with Zelda. Oh, I think Zelda's also had a possible spin or a moment somewhere. I don't think I've followed that. LT Rocker leads. Cherry in P2 now is in a pretty good position. Unlike the last lap, will Goose go for a move again into turn 1? Let's have a look if the McLaren driver is going to go for a move. Into turn 1 we go. Nope. Goose will hang back for now. Nath in P3 still has Kling Kachau right on his tail. Kling is very, very eager to make a move here. The number, I should say 74 or 14. I keep mixing this up. Even last weekend I did the same thing. It's number 74, I think. But up front, nonetheless, we'll focus on numbers later. We'll have a look at this battle for the podium. The rostrum is still up for grabs for everyone. Goose and Cherry battling it out. So we will be very keenly looking out for the tyre strategy that these guys go for. Cherry and Goose. Now Goose coming under pressure from Nath. This is not a corner where you should ideally be going for a move here, because this opens up the door for those around you. Kling almost looked like he was going to go for the move. That Turbo Boy, I think, almost lost the rear end of the car for a brief moment as we go into this left-handed braking zone. So these are not necessarily corners where you want to go inside. Once again, oh, that's Kling Kachau into the barriers, almost collects his teammate there. So what's happened here to the Jaguar driver? Look, he was running in a decent position. I think he just took a little too much grass on his tires here, and that's put the power down a little too early. And whoa, that is so close between him and VCube. Oh, these guys will not be happy with the ghosted car, but I think lucky for them he ghosted. Fancy Lock still in P10. You would have expected the speed he showed in the sprint that he would absolutely be blitzing it right now, but he's still in P10. I think just got caught up in the midfield melee here. It's very easy to have that happen. A in P8, he's fallen down that position from his original starting place. Arix is following Turbo Boy. Let's see. LT Rocker's just been allowed to get the breeze into the distance right now. Afternoon ADZ45. I don't think I recognize you. Good afternoon. I mean, I want the drivers, that's why. Some of the drivers have different names for the YouTube channel, what they do on GT. Somebody is locked up. Was that Turbo Boy? I think Turbo Boy had a little moment there. VCube and Arix battling it out. VCube's really... Oh, greetings to you. I hope you had a nice race as well. And I think you can enjoy this fantastic action for Tier 3 White. RX versus VQ. Battle for P6, the battle for P4 between Turbo Boy and Nath. And don't discount the battle for P2 as well. Cherry versus Goose. Well, indeed, yeah, I think this is a bit of a unorthodox time for those of you in the UK. So, still have some other people to join in for the live stream as well. Indeed, welcome to the madness. We've seen a lot of off-road action. With these two especially, I'd say, given that the RCZ has a off-road variant as well, I think these two sometimes are just tending to take that to be their car. Sometimes they think that is their vehicle of choice. Turbo Boy and Nath, they're running in pretty strong P4 and P5s. Let's see what they can do. Can they challenge Goose and Cherry? What about LT Rocker? Once again, 4 laps in, look at the state of his mediums. He is definitely going to have to make multiple pit stops, even if he opts for the hard tires. I'm almost positive of that. Oh, he's already getting a snap of the rear end there. That is not how you want your car to be handling. LT Rocker leads, but he is going to have to really play strategy to perfection here. Cherry in P2 in a pretty good position here. Goose coming under pressure from Turbo Boy, and Nath has just fallen back. I think he's given his teammate the right of way just so that he can go and attack the likes of Goose and Cherry. We're going to this right-hander braking zone. Let's see if Turbo is going to hassle Goose anytime soon. Further backward about this battle, RX and VQ are still line astern. Nath in P5, I think he's trying to settle into a rhythm here. Maybe he's just not very comfortable with the tires right now, or maybe just wants to avoid using up too much of his tires at this point in the race, lap 5. I think the Peugeots are among the only cars that may be able to do a one-stop probably, apart from the McLaren. Maybe I'm wrong. From a very limited experience driving the Peugeot, I think that is my takeaway. But let's see. RX and VQ were very close, but they still hold position. Rocket in P8, JMS in P9, and actually look at this. Someone who I expected would absolutely be blitzing through the field is currently in P11, not having the best of races. Let's see what Fancy Lux can do. Strategy will be a very key part of this race. You can win or lose this race on strategy. Fancy currently running in P11 was absolutely dominant in the sprint, so one would expect him to do something similar in the future as well. Yeah, harsh to medium seems to be the way to go for the one stop. Definitely, I don't think anybody can take a chance with the soft tires. Oh, what's happened here to Goose? We've just looked away for a moment here. Turbo Boy and Goose, is there contact? No, there's Goose just spinning all on his own. Oh, there's damage and he's reversing, no, not onto the racing line, but he's, oh, this is so frustrating for the McLaren driver. And the barrier will just keep, oh, that is so frustrating for Goose. Tumbling down the order now, down to P16 because Zelda will pass him. Deco is also having a pretty torrid race. Kling down in 13. I think I've missed that. No, I think I did catch that. Yeah, Kling is having a bit of a spin. So drivers are not having a particularly good time here. Fancy Lock still in P10. JMS is up to P8 with a nice cow-themed livery with the Mutini. I've just noticed that. This is someone that knows their liveries in and out. And the number 404 Alfa Romeo. Well, what this has done is it's promoted Turbo Boy into P3, not into P4, and everybody actually up a position. So, well, let's have a look at LT Rocker's tires. Well, I'm very keen to see the Subaru is just, it is devouring its tires. I think that's the only way to go about it. He has a very good lead right now. Look at the lead. I think it's about let me just do a rough estimation. Maybe about a 3.5 to 4 second lead for LT Rocker, but yeah, there's no tires. JMS also saying that his tires are that situation, or was he saying that for LT Rocker? LT Rocker, I'm assuming he's going to come into the pits this lap, possibly to avoid risking a puncture. Let's have a look. Nope, LT Rocker stays out. He will pit at the end of the next lap, and I'm almost certain of that at this point. Going to turn 1. He's going to lose time the longer he stays out on this set. So maybe LT could do a medium, hard medium. That would be a safe bet. Cherry and Turbo battling it out. I think Nath has done his teammate quite a few favors here by not battling him too much, because this is going to allow Turbo Boy to battle those ahead, and he is already on the charge. Cherry versus the British driver. Actually, both of them are British drivers. Cherry versus Turbo Boy, I should say. And Turbo moves up into P2. Cherry now down to P3. Nath in P4. Arix and VCube are still very close to one another. I think VCube will also be judging his options now, possibly considering coming into the pits this or the next lap. What about Rocket? The NSX is, well, I really have no idea how the NSX drives or is with tire wear and so on. Rocket taking a little bit of grass there on entry. JMS in P8. Well, I would assume the 2-stop at the very least will be the faster strategy. LT Rocker's tires are done for. Turbo versus Cherry. The battle still rages on into the braking zone. As we approach the braking zone, let's have a look. If Cherry can do something to hassle Turbo Boy, look at Turbo Boy's tires. They're all, both of their tires are in pretty good condition right now, Turbo and Cherry. As we go into this left-hander, this uphill left-hander, Turbo gets a good exit here. I think he's secured his spot ahead of Cherry, at least for the time being. But let's have a look. He has to box now. It doesn't make sense for him to stay out, and I think that is exactly what's going to happen. LT Rocker comes into the pit lane. There you go. I should have had a look at the onboard to see the pit lane entry. So we have our first pit stop of the race. LT Rocker onto a fresh set of tires. We'll have a look at what he's gone on, which tires he's gone on to in a moment. This is VCube now in P5. Obviously, all these guys have to make their pit stop. Rocket in P6. Fancy Locks, I think, will consider something aggressive for a strategy. Medium, soft, medium, possibly. About 8 laps, 9 laps on mediums, 4 or 5 laps on softs, and then back onto the mediums for the rest of the race. That would be interesting. Well, let's see if anybody opts to go for the softs in this middle stint. If they are opting for a middle stint. Some may just be wanting to go onto the hard tires directly from the mediums. So, well, let's see. JMS is in a pretty good position. One would expect, I think, JMS to stay in this position. But just as I say that, he's coming under increased pressure from Fancy Locks. Rocket took a little bit too much grass once again at the very same corner. Fancy Locks is all over the gearbox of the Alfa Romeo of JMS. The Irish driver and the Brazilian. Oh, that's Rocket going into the wall! What's happened here to the Honda, to the NSX driver? And there you go, Rocket takes this left-hander and launches it into the barriers there. And these mistakes are going to prove to be very costly. Deco and the Audi driver swap positions. Rocket now down to 14th and is just looking to... Well, I think that is a very ideal way of getting past another driver. Ideal way of signaling that you're getting past another driver is to just shout move. And you are battling it out with Fancy Locks, JMS. And side by side action, love to see it. You love to see it. The Irish driver and the Brazilian driver, and A will be very keen to see all this. These two battling it out. A will just be hoping for more action, because this will allow him to pretty much breeze past, I think, if these two keep going at it. But I think, yeah, JMS will take back the position, and A returns to P8. Turbo Boy into the pit lane. The Peugeot driver is pitting. Oh, that was almost tears for A and JMS. And that is LT Rocco going for the move. LT Rocco obviously has made his pit stop. We hadn't looked at his tires in a moment. Let's have a look. Alright, so he's gone onto the mediums, and that's, whoa, Turbo Boy. He has gone onto the softs. Alright, so I'm going to be very interested to see how he fares in this middle stint of the race. He needs to avoid any and all traffic that is around him. So that will be either by overtaking them or just by staying with these guys. I would assume that Turbo will want to get past them at the earliest available point of asking. Kling, Deco and Sapper, I think I've just had a bit of a race to forget. Zelda pits, Rocket pits. Rocket obviously after his mistake will be just loading up the car full of fuel and exits onto a fresh set of hard tires. So now Cherry is in the lead of the race, but obviously look at the state of his tires. I think Cherry will try to go for the one stop, given his spot on track right now. Nath, I think, might do something similar. Arix, I think, can take a gamble on the softs. What about these guys? VQ and Fancy Locks. Whoa, that was a little too close there. Fancy is past VQ. He was battling a GMS some time ago, don't forget that. And it's now the Brazilian followed by the Spaniard and the Irish driver. Whoa, that was A going very hot into that corner. Almost runs into the back of the Alfa Romeo. VQ and GMS, I think there was a little bit of server lag there, but GMS onto the grass, clips the barrier, and whoa, what a save there. Well done, GMS. He won't be happy that he's got damaged, but I think he'll be happy to be facing the right way after all that. And look at this. Turbo Boy saw all the chaos unfold ahead of him, and this is exactly what he needed. Those ahead of him to just effectively pave the way for him, and now he is into P5. And there you go. Let's see how he fares here. Fancy will sorry. Fancy Locks will be coming into the pits, I'm sure. There you go. Arix into the pits as well. Cherry and Nath have stayed out. Turbo Boy is on soft tires. He'll have to make his pit stop much earlier than those around him will. A in the Lamborghini on the hards. So he'll have to make one less pit stop than those around him. That's logically the strategy that he's going for. GMS has not yet made his pit stop. I think maybe next lap onto the hards, bring the car home for GMS. Arix has pitted onto a set of mediums. LT Rocker on mediums, but they're starting to wear out once again. So I'm very keen to see what LT decides to do, because I would have assumed he would have got his mandatory out the way by going on to either the softs or the hards. Let's see. I'm very keen to see what his strategy is going to be. He was leading the race quite comfortably at one point, so let's see how he goes about it. Fancy Locks onto a set of mediums. Deco is also on a set of mediums. Kling is on a fresh set of mediums. Sapper is on hards. V-Cube on mediums as well. So V-Cube is, I think, caught in a battle that he wasn't earlier a part of, Kling versus Sapper. And I think V-Cube's trying to go for a move here down the inside at this right-handed. This is not a very ideal place to make a move here, because if you make a mistake here, it could be the curtains on your race. Kling goes a little bit wide there. RCR, I think, just tapped the handbrake there for a moment. And into this right hand we go. Teammate versus teammate. V-Cube versus Kling Kachau. Are we going to see the Spaniard get past the Dane at the exit of this long right hander? He's a lot closer than he was, V-Cube. But I still think he's a little too far back to make the move into this braking zone. Cherry pits. Does Nath pit? Nath pits as well. So that will put Turbo Boy into the lead of the race. He's on softs. He needs to make the most of this clear air that he has. Just blitz it these next few laps, Turbo Boy. That's all you need to do. Cherry in A in the Lamborghini in P2, and Nath has exited also on a set of soft tires. So he's gone 2 laps longer than his teammate. I think he's a little more worried about his tire wear. Arix on the mediums. So Nath has to clear a McLaren now. LT Rockers in P5, I think, is settling into a bit of a rhythm here. Cherry and Fancy Locks. I think Fancy gave Cherry a bit of a bump drop there by the looks of it. As we go towards the braking zone, let's have a look. BMW versus BMW. Teammates battling it out. The Brit and the Brazilian. And that is Deco looking to join the battle. He can see the two ahead of him battle it out, and he will be hoping that they keep battling it out, because this will allow him to just breezed past, and I think Cherry's at a bit of a disadvantage there. Deco trying to move down the inside possibly here. Cherry gives him the room, and Deco moves up to P7. Fancy locks slightly under the grass there, but keeps it under control. And yes, this... Oh, I can't believe it's lap 11. So much action has happened here. LT Rocker... Well, was that understeer or was that just a bit of a mistake there by the Subaru driver? Nath has still not managed to clear Arix. Arix will be tough to clear. He's in the McLaren. I think McLaren's pretty good with traction on corner exits. And I think, yeah, let's have a look. I'm forgetting who it was. I think it's Zelda. Zelda's pitted. So the only driver yet to have made any kind of pit stop on lap 11 is A in the Lamborghini. And I think he's just going to want to hang it out as long as he can, because you can see the tire wear situation for those around him, having to make multiple pit stops. And this is a very good situation, honestly, I would say, for A, because he can just go into the mediums in, I would say, maybe, say 1 or 2 laps time, and then just bring the car home. He won't even want to take that risk. Maybe he can go a little bit longer on these hards. Let's see, I'm very keen to see. He could be a contender for the podium here. Turbo Boy is blitzing it as he needs to, but he is running out of tires very quickly. So I'm not sure. Will he be able to do, what's it? I want to say 10 laps on the mediums, 9 laps? If he pits in the next lap, or maybe on this one. I think he would pit on the next lap, Turbo Boy. Nath and Arix battling it out, and let's have a look at this. So, did Arix make a mistake here? I should not be changing the camera so often. I think Arix just went a little bit wider here into this corner, and a little bit of wheel banging between the Peugeot and the McLaren, and Nath moves up into P3. Will Arix go for a dive here? I think he knows that Nath is on the softs and does not want to try anything untoward here. Arix is going to settle into P4 for the time being. He has a different strategy on his hands. His race will end very differently from Nath's. Nath now in P3. He needs to now blitz it over the next few laps and absolutely send it into corners. Just total. He needs to gain as much time as he can on these soft tires, and then just bring the mediums home to the end. What does A do? Well, what does Turbo Boy do? His tires are running out at a very, very rapid rate. And looking at the state of his front left, you would assume that if he's wanting to take a bit of a gamble here because of the gap he's built up, he may go one more lap or he may pit. Let's have a look. Let's follow the Peugeot driver as we exit the last corner. We can see him, and let's have a look. He will stay out one more lap at the very least. There you go. Starting lap 13 is Turbo Boy, and then the distance is A. And then a few seconds behind him is Nath. Nath is, I think, starting to just push on with these tires. Arix in P4 is having a... I think he's trying to bide his time, not wanting to take any undue risks here. This is... I don't think LT will be particularly happy with the way the race is going right now, because I think he's been jumped by Arix and possibly by A as well, because he'll have to make this pit stop in maybe say 3 laps time or so, lap 16, by the end of lap 16. Fancy Locks is not that far behind him, so he'll not be particularly pleased. LT Rocker was leading by a pretty comfortable margin. Turbo Boy, look at the state of his front left. But I think this is all in a bit to just avoid going any longer in the mediums than he has to. Through this long right-hander, A in the Lamborghini. He is actually the star of the show right here, I would say. He is doing quite well to be attempting a one-stop. He's done 13 laps on hards. No other driver has gone this long on a single set of tires. No matter what their car may be, no matter what their tire wear may be, A is the only driver to have attempted such a long stint on one tire. Turbo Boy has got a front left puncture, and I think he'll be happy that he's at the end of the lap rather than somewhere in the middle, say at the long right hander or something. This is going to be Very minimal loss of time, providing you can just keep it under control. Turbo Boy will be pitting onto a set of, I want to say, mediums. You would assume mediums would be the way to go for Turbo Boy. Does A pit? A will pit, finally! He's done 14 laps because he'll cross the line. Nath stays out, obviously he's pitted later. He will take over the lead. Arix has a very different race compared to Nath ahead of him. He stays out as well. LT Rocker, one would assume he'll be pitting very soon. Fancy Locks in P4. Deco in 5th. Turbo Boy emerges onto a set of medium tires. Alright, so he just wants to take this home now. Cherry in P7 on the hards. Well, let's see if the hard gamble is of a Cherry as well. V-Cube and Kling are battling it out. And what has A gone on to? Logically, you would expect him to not take any unnecessary risks. He's gone on to a set of mediums. So maybe the one stop will pay off for him after all. Let's see. The Italian in the Lamborghini currently in P10, but let's see where he will eventually end up once all the guys ahead of him have made their final pit stops, because one would assume they won't be able to get to the end, ideally on this current set of tires that they're on. Cherry would be the only one to do so, I think, if at all. What about Nath? Has Nath built up a lead? He is doing what his teammate did a few laps ago, Turbo Boy. But let's see if he can build enough of a lead. I would assume he will go another lap and then pit. He should ideally look to avoid following the same fate that went his teammates' way. Nath should pit at the end of next lap and just bring the car home on the mediums. They've all completed their mandatory. Rather, I should say they both have completed their mandatory pit stop. Nath going downhill into the final chicane. The Peugeot driver exits, and you can see Arix in the distance here. I'm very keen to see when Arix decides to pit. Maybe around lap 19? End of lap 19, I should say. That would be logical. LT Rocker pits. And this is going to be crucial. He's done 2 pit stops on 2 medium tires. He's gone from medium to medium. So I would assume this is going to be for the hards. No point taking a gamble. 8 laps on softs. Well, I'm very keen to find out, and we will find out in a moment's time. A is now in P9. He needs to steadily conserve his tires, and there you go. LT Rocker emerges on the hard tires. JMS is now in P10. He will also be bringing it home in the end. The Audi driver has a bit of damage actually. I think that's probably due to clipping the barrier at the final corner. Sapper and Goose battling it out. Goose trying to go for a move on the Ferrari driver, but I think Sapper will hold it for now. And yeah, they all hold position. Whoa! And just as I say that, Sapper has a huge loss of rear end grip and almost went into the wall there. LT has to clear JMS and then he'll catch up to A. So I don't think the strategy, rather the fast driver, has been particularly kind to LT Rocker, who was leading rather comfortably but now finds himself in P11. What does Nath do? Let's see his tires. Will he risk another lap? Does it make sense for him to risk another lap? I think he can just pull it off. One more lap on the soft tires. Arix will be having to decide a strategy as well in the next few laps. Nath has stayed out. Arix obviously I think is going to stay out. Fancy also. I think all of them are looking to pit around lap, I want to say 18-19. That would be logical. Or would that be leaving it a little too late? Deco in P4. Turbo, he's made his final pit stop. Those ahead of him have to. But the pit lane around here is not as long as some other tracks. So it's going to be very interesting. Turbo Boy will be on older mediums, but he's got the hang of the mediums. He is settling into a rhythm. I can see that he is setting I think relatively good personal best as well. So this is really anybody's race here. Don't discount anyone right now. Cherry is also in a pretty good position. Kling coming under pressure from A. A trying to move down the inside. Kling tries to close the door, but A finds a way past. Just I think all the stars are aligning for A in the Lamborghini. Trying to make a move on the outside, late braking, but no, that is not the part of the track where you can really risk it, especially when the driver ahead is still trying to fight for track position. V-Cube and Kling battling it out, teammates making a little bit of contact there, and that won't be particularly fun debrief to be involved in as driver. V-Cube and A are battling it out. For a moment it looked like V-Cube was running into the side of A, and V-Cube onto the grass there. I think that may just be connection issues for V-Cube. I hope it is the case. So that was pretty scary to look at from A's perspective. A is now battling it out with Kling Kachao, and he just needs to bide his time. Those around him will have to pit. It's just a matter of time. Don't need to take the grass there. A not pits, and he's not got a puncture. So he's avoided befalling the same fate that went his teammates' way. Turbo Boy does get ahead of him. He's at a comfortable lead right now. Cherry is on the hards. I think Nath can come out alongside. No, he'll come out behind Cherry. He needs to avoid getting any pit lane cuts, penalties. Yeah, there you go. I think it's done so. A and Kling are still battling it out. A just desperate to find a way past. He can see that Nath is pitted, and Nath has gone on to softs. I didn't notice that. Turbo Boy on mediums, Nath on softs. So he's gone deeper into the race in order to have a softer compound to finish the race on. But will that prove to be costly for him? Because tyre wear is very, very rapid here. Whoa! Kling Kachao almost lost the car and almost took A with him. A is now past the Jaguar driver, and the skies are getting very gloomy, but I don't think we're going to see any rain. I don't think it can rain. Some tracks it just gets very gloomy and never rains. Cherry on the hards is not enjoying this too much, I think. Nath on the softs will have a lot of grip right now, but he'll have to be very cautious about how he approaches these final few laps. Tyre wear around here can be a very big pain in the rear end of the I should say. Trying to avoid not getting demonetized here. A and Nath still battling it out. Cherry has been able to hold off these guys a lot longer than expected. I would have expected Cherry to just be gobbled up by these guys, but there you go. He has finally gone a little bit wide there, but look at the exit A has got compared to Nath, and Cherry will be getting worried here. Nath on the inside, A trying to make a move around the outside. A and Nath now battling it out, and A moves ahead of Nath. Kling Kachao has to pit. LT Rocker made his pit stop. Deco in the pits. Just trying to figure out what's going on around the wheel. A and Nath still very, very close. Whoa, what happened there? So, you can see here, Cherry has the inside line, A has the outside line. Nath also goes for the outside. There's some contact here. I think that's just A losing the rear end all on his own. Kling Kachao, I think, will be pitting at the end of this lap. Would make sense. Then he'll have about 4 laps to do on these on the soft tires. A is not going to yield here. He's going down the inside on those medium tires, on the inside of Nath. Nath on the softs. Cherry, he has Cherry ahead of him. If the BMW driver was not there, I don't think we would have had a battle like this between Nath and A, because one would assume Nath to just breeze off it at the distance from the get-go. But Cherry is proving to be a real thorn in Nath's dreams of getting a podium here. And there you go. Cherry's not had a very good corner exit there. Kling Kachao is now ahead of Nath, and this is the point in the race where I think A needs to just push on. Nath onto the grass, Kling onto the grass. Deco gets past, having just made a pit stop onto the soft tires. Cherry will, I think this is just an unfortunate thing unfortunate reality that Cherry will have to put up with is the fact that the hards are just not going to have any pace compared to those on the softs. Kling battling it out with Deco. Deco is also trying to find a way past the Jaguar driver. I'm assuming Kling will be pitting this lap, okay, given the state of his mediums. Arix is pitted. Turbo Boy will take over the lead of the race. However, in the grand scheme of things, where does this lead everyone? Fancy Locks is in a good position in P2. Arix in P3. And where will A end up? Kling pits. Arix has exited the pits. I would assume it's on the soft chair. There you go. Just took a moment to refresh there. So it's now A needs to make the move on track. He needs to get past Arix in order to get onto the podium. But that will not be easy. It's easier said than done. He has two very quick soft runners behind him in the form of Deco and Nath. Nath has fallen back a little bit thanks to all the skirmishes that we saw. Cherry will not be a threat to the podium, I think, given the tire differential that we're seeing here. Arix on the softs. Will A just cut his losses and settle into a rhythm and follow these guys home, or will he go for the move? For his sake, I would assume he would judge his options, but for the sake of entertainment, yes, A, please do go for the moves. That was Nath onto the grass in the background there. And P6, he's getting frustrated, I think. Just very frustrated with how the previous lap has unfolded. The Peugeot driver. And Nath in P6. LT, I think some slightly different strategy work may have benefited LT Doctor quite well. JMS also on the hards. Kling Kachao is on the soft, so I would expect him to probably challenge at least JMS, if not LT Rocker as well, before the end of the race. Let's have a look at this. A has lost the position to Deco. Is that at the... Oh, it's actually at the long right-hander. Deco breezes by into P4 and it's now A in P5. Nath is a few seconds down the road. Let's see if Nath is going to attack the Lamborghini driver anytime soon, and that seems to be quite a bit of lag, especially from that particular perspective. Turbo Boy has to navigate 3 more laps in this position. He is looking set for a pretty comfortable win here. All he needs to do is avoid wearing out his tires too much and just being conservative a little bit with his driving. Fancy Locks is in a good position. His tires are in good shape. I think he's secured P2. I think Turbo is a little too far ahead to be challenged. And this is the battle that we're really going to be looking out for. Deco versus Arix. Arix is on fresher tires. Deco is on, I think, 1 lap older tires. That's just the difference in... That's just the tire wear that you can see around here taking its effect. Through this long left-hander we go. Deco just edging closer to Arix, but not able to, I think, make the move anytime soon, unless Arix makes a mistake. With this right-hander we go. What about A and Nath? These two are battling it out with Cherry. It's quite a battle. Whoa! LT Rocker almost losing the car there. Almost greeting the barriers there, but saves it. Cherry won't be particularly happy. What's happening to LT Rocker? He's not enjoying his time on the hards because he just seems to be losing the rear end everywhere. What about these two? This is the battle that's brewing. Nath versus A in the Lamborghini. What about Deco and Arix? I think Deco will have to cut his losses here because maybe the softs will wear out before the last lap, and that's not something you would want. But I don't think he's going to give up without a fight here. Arix has to cover the inside, so he can obviously sense a threat incoming from Deco as we exit the chicane and start the penultimate lap for these guys. Turbo Boy is in a well, he's in the distance effectively right now. He's had an amazing race. I think he'll be pretty happy with the strategy work that he's put in. And Turbo Boy in the lead. Fancy Locks in P2. I think these two are definitely the positions that are guaranteed. It's this that we really have to look out for. Deco and Alex. What about A and Nath? Nath got a little bit closer to A on the previous lap, but he's still a little too far back to make the move on A anytime soon. LT Rocco sliding all over the place. I would assume that to continue over the course of these final 2 laps. Cherry, I don't think he'll be particularly pleased with P8 here, but I think he'll be happy to be inside the top 10 despite the hards falling off. Will Kling Kachao be able to overtake him? One would assume that to be the case, probably in this lap as well. Kling Kachao can still have a chance at getting P7 here. P6 I think is just too far away. As we go through the long right-hander for the penultimate time in this feature race. You can hear the squeal of tires, drivers just pushing it all to the limit here, just wanting to finish off their penultimate and final laps in style. Kling Kachao trying to move around the outside, is he? Or just trying to follow Cherry for a moment here. He'll get a decent exit, and I think he's going to try around the outside. No, switches back to the inside, Kling Kachao, and as we go up the hill and then descend towards the final chicane, Kling has the inside line, and I don't think Cherry will be fighting it too much. Cherry goes down to P9. Kling Kachao will have 1 lap, the final lap of the race, to try and get past LT Rocco. Up front, A is still holding off Nath. Deco has not been able to pass Arix. Turbo Boy and Fancy are just in the distance. Fancy's actually closed up slightly to Turbo, I think, who is just a little bit concerned with his fuel right now. Fancy, you can just see P1 in the distance, but I think it's too late for him to attack the medium runner. Arix and Deco still holding position. Nath, does he have enough confidence in these one-out softs to get ahead of A? Does A have enough grip? Does he have enough trust in these tires to get to the end in P5? What about LT Rocker and Kling? Are we going to see a move here in coming? I would assume so. Kling has nothing to lose. He just needs to go for the move, and probably on the long right-hander, that's where LT, you would assume LT to be struggling. Up front, Arix, yeah, Deco's just taken the route of cutting his losses. Turbo Boy has been able to hold off a charge from Fancy Locks. Fancy's run out of tires, where his front left is almost on the verge of dying. But what a drive, what a strategy from Turbo Boy. Well done to the Peugeot driver. He will exit the chicane, take the final corner, come across the line and win the feature race. Fancy Locks in P2. He'll be happy with that, I think. A little frustrated to not get P1, but I think he can be satisfied with that. Arix in P3. Deco finishes P4. A does hold off Nath at the end there to get P5, Nath in P6, and I will rewind to have a look at this. So, Kling Kachao was trailing LT for almost the whole lap, and into the final sector we go, into the final 2 corners as well. Kling trying to move on the outside, LT breaks early in order to have the inside line, but no, that just wasn't meant to be. Kling Kachao just goes on the outside at the entry of the chicane, and there you go. Kling moves into P7 at the very, very last corner. Kling finishes P7, LT Rocker finishes in P8. Cherry will be disappointed with P9. JMS, I think, also with P10. He's got damage as well. The Audi driver in P11, almost out of fuel. Goose will not, it's not been a race to remember for him. And in P12, V-Cube 13th, he ran out of tires. Sapper, I don't think the hards really worked out very well for him. Zelda also he's had a race to forget, down in 15th. There you go. And Rocket, we didn't really talk a whole lot. And once he had that spin, and the Rocket finishing the race in 16th, another driver with a race to forget. This has been a pretty challenging race, I should say, for quite a few drivers, myself included. It was not a very pleasant race, very technical track. But nonetheless, there you go. Thank you to all the drivers for a memorable race. And we shall see you next week at Interlagos, one of my favorite circuits. Let's see how these guys fare around the lovely Autodromo Interlagos in Brazil. Indeed, it was really fun to watch. Thank you all of you for making it interesting. Well, I'm grateful to have the opportunity, and thank you, GMS. I did notice some of your liveries as well in this race. You're quite the livery maker. Well, thank you to everyone for tuning in. We will be. Oh yeah, we do. I think I saw two Brazilians. Let me just have a look at that. Are there two Brazilians, or is there one Brazilian in the field here? I think it's only Fancy, right? I swear. No, the other Brazilian is in my tier. I'm sorry. Yeah. So it is Fancy Locks's home race. Let's see how he fares around here. But until next time, thank you to all of you who tuned in. Thank you to all the drivers for a memorable race. We will see you soon. Until then, thank you. Take care and bye bye.